Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all, back with another quick fight announcement video. I know these fights, look, they can be canceled like I always say, but fingers crossed. But I just want to talk about this matchup here real quick and just fill y'all in and let y'all know that it's been rescheduled. It's going down April 23rd, UFC Fight Night. We have Maycee Barber taking on Montana De La Rosa. As y'all know, this fight, it was originally scheduled for, I want to say back in November, but it had to be put off. It had to be postponed. It actually, no, actually, it turned into another fight because Montana De La Rosa and Maycee, they both pulled out on separate occasions for this fight. Because first of all, it was Maycee versus Montana, right? Then Montana had to pull out of the fight because of an injury. So it became Maycee Barber versus Erin Blanchfield. And then Maycee Barber had to pull out of the fight. So then it became Erin versus Maycee. So that's how that fight came about. So Erin and Maycee, Erin and Miranda were never really like just scheduled to face each other. They just were stepping in to replace Montana and Maycee. So yeah, that fight just changed into a whole different thing. But Maycee and Montana, they're back on now for April 23rd. And this is actually one of these fights I just want to check out because I know that it could end in the finish and there's going to be blood in the fight. It's one of those type of fights where you have two fighters that don't mind getting hit and they don't mind throwing bombs. So, that's one of the reasons I really want to just see this fight. It's not like elite level or championship level. It's just one of those fights. But as y'all know, Maycee Barber, to me, she's coming off a 3-fight losing streak. To me, she is, to Roxy, Alexa, and Miranda Maverick. But she broke that 2-fight losing streak with a controversial win over Miranda Maverick. And I still think of that fight as a robbery. Yeah, I said it. Montana De La Rosa, as y'all know, she broke her losing streak with a win over Ariane Lipsky. And because before that, she had a draw with Mayra Bueno Silva. And that was just one of those fights where I was disappointed in Montana because I was like, one of these fighters just needs to really step it up. I was disappointed in both of them because it was like one of those situations where neither fighter would just take the wheel when the other fighter was just like cruising. You know what I mean? That's where I was kind of really starting to find my gauge for Montana and just say, okay, I don't see the full-on kill switch in her, and I don't see that level where she'll adjust knowing that she has the skills to do it, right? So my thoughts on this fight here, I like it because, like I said, it's an explosion fight, but it's also a fight where we have two fighters who have youth on their side, but at the same time, we need to see what type of improvements they can make going into this fight. Now, right off top, I'm going to say that Montana, I think she's the more technically sound fighter, but that's not saying a great deal. I think she just has a few more technical skills than Maycee Barber, but the way she uses them, that's what it all comes down to with her, like how she uses them. Sometimes she'll just neglect certain things, or she'll just kind of fall on the back foot and let the other fighter take the lead. And that's how she winds up losing sometimes, like she has power, she has size, but there's still some holes in there on how she uses her striking. Like she has a good solid jab, but I think it's still part of the footwork on how she executes, landing them straight punches. That's how she can kind of drag her foot when she's throwing these hard shots and she'll still miss by a mile, like even with Viviane Araújo. She landed on Viviane Araújo when she was standing in front of her, but it was hard to find whenever Viviane Araújo would go on the back foot or, find that that range at the center of the octagon. She couldn't catch up to her in close distance. So Montana has those abilities. I think she has the gist of it. It's all about execution, though. Maycee Barber, y'all know she's been switching up gyms a bit. And like I always say about her, she's one of those fighters with natural abilities, but she's also one of those fighters that really needs to start putting the technical skills together. Like she's known as a puncher, got power in both hands. Maycee Barber is one of the bigger flyweights down there, and she's athletic, but there's a time when she can have that slow start. She'll let other fighters take the lead, and then all of a sudden she'll come out of nowhere and land in bombs. She'll turn on that kill switch in like the second or third round. So this has to be her moment where she goes in there and says, okay, I'm the better striker, I'm the better puncher, I have to take the lead early on in this fight. It has to be one of those situations because, like I said, if you go back and look at both of these fighters, a lot of people are going to say these two have a lot of promise or they're going to be like the big threats in the division. But if you look at their records, they're very similar. Montana and Maycee are very similar. That's why I say it's a very even fight, and it's more so it's going to be an entertaining fight, and it's going to come down to who's really going to want to execute and step out of the box. Because look at their resumes. They kind of beat the same level of fighters, but when they step up their game, they come up short. You know, if you look at Montana, she'll beat everybody on the lower level, but she lost to the better fighters like Andrea Lee, Viviana Araujo, right? Then when you look at Maycee Barber, yeah, she'll beat all these girls like JJ Aldridge and knock these girls out like Jillian Robertson, but then she'll lose to fighters like Alexa Grasso and Roxanne Modafferi, you know, the ones that are much more polished with their skills, and Miranda Maverick, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just think that it's one of those situations where they have to go in there and step out of the box and show some improvements, you know. They really have to go in there and utilize those tools. Now, with that being said, I do think that Montana has more tools going into this fight. Like, I think she's going to kind of take that approach like she did with Ariane Lipsky. You know, if she takes that power of Maycee, she's going to want to take it to the ground and utilize her wrestling here because she is the better grappler as well. You know, as for Maycee, like I said, can't just be looking for the bomb. She's going to have to be the striker with the jab like Viviana Araujo. So the blueprint is out there, you know, for both fighters, you know, on how to beat each other. It's just going to come down to really seeing if they have the skills to do it, right? So, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got on this, guys. I just wanted to let y'all know it's rescheduled and just talk about it a little bit again. But, yeah, it's really a situation where Montana, I know if she wins, she could get into the top 15. So it's a you know, big motivation for her. But for Maycee, you know, she's fighting an unranked fighter here, but it's still got to be on her to beat these level of fighters and maybe beat another unranked fighter and another unranked fighter before she gets back in there with, you know, the talks of, you know, facing fighters like Jennifer Maia or, you know, trying to push her to the top 10 again. You know what I mean? So it's just really a stay busy fight for Maycee Barber when it comes down to it. Like, I don't expect this to elevate her or anything up the rankings. It's just going to tell us where she's at right now, right? But it is a ranked fighter for Montana, so it means more for her. So, yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think of the fight. I think it's going to be explosion. But always like I have to say about these type of fights with Montana, there will be blood. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.